Mesa Grande Cultural Park. And a big theme of this place, there's a sign right here. Again, the hours are kind of restricted, but it's going to be great, man. We're going to see some more pre-Columbian architecture, hopefully. This is one place of many that you can see that. But this is here in Mesa, Arizona. One of the big themes you're going to see in this place is the reoccurrence of the actual Mormons in this place, because they actually cleaned out Mesa in the very beginning. And I'm going to expand that story later, but let's go ahead and get started on this. Bob, anvil, some shaft straighteners, it's hammerhead. This park is beautiful, but it even has a map that's interpretive, and then I look over and there's matates everywhere. I mean, there's got to be dozens, and then you got beautiful art, art as well. I mean, this place is just, I mean, look at these things, all worn. This one even has a matching stone. All right, so let's follow along the interpretive trail. Got a lot of, I just saw a really healthy Palo Verde tree, made me super happy. This old explorer, Spanish Entradas, and Father Kino. So this is talking back, got 1540 in Coronado, and then Casa Grande ruins. We're going to be there shortly. Found that Father Eusebio Kino was the first European to explore the Hohokam region. Born in Italy and educated in Germany, Father Kino arrived in New Spain in 1681, which would be this current area, New Spain, Nueva España. In 1681, at age 36, head of the Upper Pima, Kino steadily worked his way into present-day Arizona, establishing a circuit of missions that included San Jose de Tumacori, Los Santos Angeles de Guave, and San Javier del Bac. So you can see Coronado's March. But like I said, what do we have? You can see Father Kino. And this spins. It says look closely. Oh, it's going to show some of the architecture that was filled in from times past, and then it shows the mound construction from above. Let's go take a look on the ground. So here we are again, and again, it's like kind of, it splits off in different directions, but this one over here, we're going to follow the low path first, and then we'll take the high route. It comes over here. Oh, this might be a ball, I'm assuming it's a ball pit, but I could be incorrect. I've seen a lot larger ones, but it says Old Explorer John Russell Bartlett. Following the Mexican War, it says they owed him the Gila. He learned about the large prehistoric mounds of the Salt River, which they're everywhere, man. I'd like to get some LiDAR over this place and see what we can find, but this is Bartlett's drawing of a Mesa Grande. And then let's try and figure out what we're looking at here. Let's just look closely for wall erosion. This is room D. Arizona State University excavated room D and several adjacent rooms in the 50s to open up sections of Mesa Grande for public viewing. So this is actually just a room. You can see where the actual supports would have been placed. That looks like maybe a fire pit and maybe a larger support. And then of course that's a doorway right there. But this is really gorgeous. Figured to get out here and see some more historical sites. I've been stuck on the trail for so long that I wanted to do some real history for you guys. Like I said, man, this place is truly amazing. I'd like to see more history incorporated into Revisiting History. I'm trying to get more of that. We need more subscribers. Please subscribe to Revisiting History so we can get out and see more history and have more clout and more ability to actually get these things done. The thing is without the resources, we can't get to a lot of places. I have a lot of things planned that we're going to have to really work to get done. Now, if we go up this way, it's going to be a mound, and if we go this way, it's going to be more flat ground. We're going to keep flat ground for now, but it's all right. So we have some actual copies I'm going to upload onto the website. But if you look here, this is going to be the map of the canals that the Mormons on this side of town. The Mormons actually cleaned out these canals in Mesa and built their part of their city on top of it. I can't remember the exact name right now. I'll have to include that, but they cleared out the part of Mesa, which is going to be over here. Now, we've mostly gone through this entire area over here, with some exceptions. Like I said, we plan on getting through the entire white tanks by the end of this year. But this is ancient canals, and they run all the way from Mesa, all the way into where the white tanks are. So, I mean, this is the entire valley that we currently live in today, made by the same canals that we use today were made basically by the Hohokam. Now, look right here. This is actually very interesting because we've been studying the Palo Verde. So the Palo Verde green stick with its characteristic green bark. The Palo Verde is a common tree of the Sonoran Desert, and you can see there. Of course, we've been doing comprehensive series. I'm trying to see if we can find one around us. But they've been having, I don't know if they're going through a cycle or something, but it's been like a massive die-off of the Palo Verde trees, at least the ones that I've seen. So let's go ahead and turn around and get back on that smaller trail. If you look over here, I'm trying to include more of the geology. Amaranth they have here is going to be used for its seeds by the Native Americans, it says, and used as flour, kind of like the Palo Verde. And the globe mallow, if you look closely, is going to be the one with the red kind of flowers on it. It says that some individuals are allergic to this shrubby common flower perennial, which is sometimes referred to in Spanish as yerba muy mala. There are over 10 different species in the Southwest, with varying flower color and leaf shape. So, all right, so this is Frank Hamilton Cushing. He kind of looks like a pirate, but he's an old explorer. It says Frank Hamilton Cushing, justly famous for his work at Zuni from 1879 to 1884. Frank Hamilton led Hemingway Southwestern Archaeological Expedition to the Salt River Valley, so that's where we are. In 1887, conducted professional excavations in Arizona. I mean, the dude looks like a straight explorer. I mean, you can't tell me this guy does not look prepared. Looks like he's covered in shells and all kinds of beads, and looks like he even has maybe like a Hopi or Zuni blanket behind him. Cushing's notes and journals tell us about the archaeological remains in the valley before many were destroyed by the development, including the trip to Mesa Grande. So that's right here. It says, early on the following morning, we followed the road which leads eastward along the southern side of the Salado to the moderately high but even more level and extensive gravel-strewn plateau, here dignified by the name of Mesa. As we turned to the summit, I was first able to see near at hand the remains of the most extensive ancient settlement we had seen yet, or I had ever seen, dreamed would be possible for us to find within the limits of the United States. Before us, a long series of elevations which I at once recognized as house pyral mounds lay stretched out in seemingly endless succession, monotonously distributed low mounds. There stood the yellow, almost angular slopes of the great central temple mound, which had once formed the place of the worship and the citadel of dwellers in this far-reaching cluster of pueblos. I could not resist the temptation to turn from the road and visit this tremendous mound. It was the largest, and with one exception, the highest we ever found in the Southwest. So again, here is the gentleman himself, and we'll get some photos and include those in the archive. That gentleman that I said looked like a pirate, right? Cushing's. This is the exact spot that he would have excavated himself. It's quite amazing to think that we are standing in the same place that in the 1800s Cushing's would have explored and found himself. Of course, this would have been desert, right? You're standing out amongst an open desert and you see these mounds. I mean, it means something, clearly. Right, the mounds don't just appear themselves. Now, if you look, they have a really nice thing where they teach classes back here. Apparently, you can see some of the things that they would be finding. This is our active archaeological site, so that means that they are currently doing digs. And this is kind of how they would set up the dig. They'd have a cross section. They'd label the cross sections with numbers and letters, and then they would use these to try and identify what they find, where they find, and then they could document using the cross numbers to log where they found this. Again, here's another, I believe, matate. But again, this is the you can see these are the seats for any kind of class where they might be teaching that. But this is really an experience to come see in Mesa. So get out here, make sure you're revisiting some history. Here we are on the map, though. We're about, there's the entrance up there. We're about on the other side. And then eventually we're going to cut through right through the center and see the actual remains of whatever the pueblo is. So I'm very excited about that, but right now we're just taking kind of a walk around. All right, so wow, look at this. Look at these mounds. Now I've seen divoted ones before, but I think this might be a ball court. And we know that the Hohokam have Mesoamerican connections because of, for one, the ball courts, for the macaw feathers, for the chocolate, the bells. There's a lot of things that we find that connect us directly to the Mesoamerica, and like the Mayan. Old explorer Harold S. Gladwin says that Gladwin began research to define anyways, apparently some more desert plants, wild oats, mesquite. But the big deal is this is going to be a Hohokam ball court. And here's Chichen Itza. So that's that's the one down south in the Yucatan Peninsula. Here's one in Mexico, in Oaxaca, and then here's the one at Snake Town. Again, I'd love to get access, but I guarantee with my current clout, we're not going to have access to there. But you look here, man, this is a ball court. This is how they would have played ball court. There's a paddle up front that I showed, or that I will be showing. But this would be the ball court that they would actually play their Mesoamerican game in. And not like any kind of ball we play today, but it'd be kind of like basketball. One of the greatest movies that I can think of that does have a explanation is going to be The Road to El Dorado, and that has very, very similar. It'll kind of show you how they used to play it, but this is going to be an entire ball court right here we're looking at. All right, so personally, like I said, I love The Road to El Dorado, but not just is it a great film, but it gives you a great depiction of historical. It's not historically accurate, but some of the historical accuracies that are there are potent, right? So the ball court game, the belief that there were an uncontacted tribe, of course, by 1450, we start to see the development of a drought, and then they get hit with whatever diseases the Europeans bring to the new world. And by 1450, we see settlements abandoned. By the time anybody else has been here, it's all covered in vegetation, right, throughout the South America, Mesoamerica. The only place where it's not, coming up from the side, and you can see the entrance over there. It's covered with vegetation. But this is going to be the other side of the ball court. Absolutely. Now, as we're walking around, you can see how the mounds have increasingly gotten larger. You look over here, there's a mound. You look up there's a mound. There's another mound larger. And the thing is they would just close one in and then build one on top. So we get these larger and larger complexes. Now, there was a sign back there, and this is important for modern day historians, because if you look here, this is an erosion gully. If you follow it up, man, it's tearing these things to bits over time. And water's going to do that to any kind of historical site, especially ones like pueblos that are made out of dirt. These erosion gullies are what eventually going to cause damage. If you look over at one of the last locations we were at, which was Papago Park, you could see how the hole in the rock looked like it was about to collapse on top of my head. That's from erosion. Different type of erosion, but these gullies in historical sites can completely... Alright, so now we've in essence looped kind of around the whole site, but now instead of going around, we're going to go up and see what's up there. There's like a military chopper. In fact, I think it is a military chopper. I think we're next to a base. We're pretty close to one. Oops. It's like I don't even know what that is. Anyways, let's take a left up here. You can see we're up on top of the mounds now. And it's a lot higher than it looks. You can see one of the actual brick walls still here. The adobe brick. I mean, layer after there's visibly 2 layers at least of brick. I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 square inches. Some of the bottom bricks are about 6 to 8, maybe on the side 12 inches. So you got varying size bricks, and I don't know if that's from the erosion or what, but you can see modern drains been put in to help from that erosion. There's a room down there, another room down there, and on this side it's just a drop off. So I'm gonna get some photos of this room before we continue forward. Alright, so we're coming back up. It's like a snake almost, and from the air it might even look something like that. But these mounds, you can see here's another erosion runoff where it's kind of taken some of the soil and displaced it. Over there's a pile of rocks. Again, you want to stay to the intuitive trails, that way you don't destroy anything. But especially if you're not an archaeologist, you're just a historian observing things. But this is going to be Mesa Grande Cultural Park. Absolutely amazing place. It's right here. Mystery of mound erosion. You can see the vegetation. Rainfall falls down, completely dismantles the walls. Top of the mound. I think that's in back that way. It might have been here at one point, but not anymore. And then, of course, we have some of the classic imagery we see with the Hohokam. Of course, we know what happened. It says right here, their version is the Hohokam decline is part of a larger pattern of abandonment. I said that. I think it's also a pattern of abandonment throughout the world. If you look at the Cambodians, I can't think of many right now, but I think the Egyptians, all over the world, South America, Central America, you see civilizations collapse one after another. And of course, in the West, we say, all right, well, disease and drought, but it may be something more broad than that, especially because disease and drought can't necessarily affect everywhere, right? I mean, I guess it could affect everywhere, but you would think it would be proportionate at least. So here we're going to walk backwards toward the top of the mound. You can see from a different angle the mounds on the sides. But absolutely magnificent. Like I said, we're so close to the city, it's funny almost, but this is what happens, man. If you're into history, you gotta try and preserve it, or the city will swallow it up. Literally, quite literally, there's probably artifacts under these houses, and probably under the hospital, probably under there. But these people have done a great job. Apparently, they're in collaboration with the actual museum. So we've been there, we've seen that. A lot of artifacts. Get out there, revisit history.